Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful Meridian Toastmaster. I am Kim. I will be your Toastmasters today. We have lots of roles for this meeting to fill out. It's going to be a full agenda, is what I hear. And I wanted to first say how excited I am for today because it's a beautiful day. We don't get it very often in Pacific Northwest, and this is starting to begin the beginning of a good one for the weekend because, well, we have a 3-day weekend, so if you have plans, this is it. Before I start off, I like to call on some roles, and the first role is Joke Master, which I'm also taking that role. So I'm going to tell a joke for y'all. Yeah, right. Hey, first joke to add some levity to our meeting. Why did the employee get fired from the calendar factory?
Oh,
He took a day off.
that's actually really funny.
Number, I'll do another one. Joke number 2. Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants?
In case you got a hole in one.
That's a good one.
Good job, Rachel.
That's good.
Very timely of that joke because I certainly have gotten into golf. So I might have to bring 2 pairs with me now.
Condolences.
Or maybe not, because there's no way I'm getting a hole in one. Okay. Next up is also introducing more roles. And the first role I would like to call is our tabletop master. And that person is Tori. Tori, can you explain your role to us?
I'm gonna just sum up or just stand up. Okay. Thank you, Master Kim. I like to call you that. My name's Tori. I'll be the table topics master today. Yeah, I've never read this sheet before, but the purpose of being the topics master is to facilitate table topics, where guest members will have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speaking. So I will present some questions for you guys to answer, and that's that. You'll be given 2 minutes to speak on the subject, and I'll introduce the people who want to volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you, Tori, for explaining your role today to us. Next, I'd like to call up on the grammarian role, and that role is Justin. Justin, can you explain your role to us, please?
I'd be glad to explain my role. I am going to be listen to good word usage or awkward misuse or spectacular use of the English language. And I'll also listen for filler words such as and so. Words like that, they're just used for fillers that we can improve on eliminating those from their speeches. Now also introduce the word of the day. The word of the day today is lacuna.
No.
Lacuna. Lacuna is a formal word that refers to a gap or blank space in something. In other words, a missing part. When used with respect to biology, lacuna also refers to a small cavity, pit, or discontinuity in an anatomical structure. So word example is, at the heart of every biography lies a lacuna, something unknowable. No matter how candid or heavily documented the subject, no matter how familiar or diligent the biographer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin, for that word. Of course, when you said it, I thought you were going to say Hakuna Matata. My brain just went.
I know. I know.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Up next, I'd like to call on the timer role, and the timer role is going to be Buffy. Buffy, please explain the role to the team.
Thank you. I will be happy to, Mr. Toastmaster. The timer's role is to time each person's speech or contribution to today's meeting. So table topics are 2 minutes long. So you get at 1 minute, you get a green saying you've got a minute to go. At 1.5 minutes, you get a yellow saying you've got 30 seconds to go. And at red, you have to stop completely dead. No more talking. Kidding. You get 30 seconds to tie up your thoughts. For a speech, we have two speeches are both 7,
Five-
5 to
five to
7.
7.
So 5 minutes for paying attention. You've got 2 minutes to go. 6 minutes means you have 1 minute to go, and at 7 minutes you have no minutes to go. And then also the evaluators have 2 to 3. 2 to 3. So 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and 3 minutes to have a nice tidy evaluation. With that, I return it to you, sir.
Thank you for explaining the role of the timer. And finally, the last role is the general evaluator, and that is going to be Don. Don, can you explain the role to us?
Greetings, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. The purpose of the general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and doesn't happen. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Before I move on, I saw that Kathy posted something on chat. Kathy, is it something you can speak to so I don't have to run back there?
Yes, I was giving my topic for my speech and letting you know that the sound was very faint. I can hear you clearly now, but it seems to be the sound starts very low, and the more you talk, the sound picks up. So there's something with a pull going on.
Yeah.
But my topic for my speech is who am I, the egg, the lacuna, and the truth beneath the shell. Thank you.
Wow.
Could you repeat that?
Yes, my topic for my speech is who am I, the egg, the lacuna, and the truth beneath the shell.
Wow.
Okay.
She get two
Yeah.
words
So
today.
Kathy, if you can hear me, I know my voice is going to come up. I believe the reason it's doing that is because there's noise canceling. So when there's outside noises, like when we're clapping and transitioning, it's going to take a few seconds for it to pick that up. So just know that you'll hear us maybe a few seconds or more to normal, maybe a few 3 or 4 seconds later on. So just to let you know that, at least from us projecting to you, it might be helpful as well with those pauses that we need to take after clappings. Next, I like to call on the main course, the main course, because it's lunchtime of our meeting is going to be speeches. And to introduce those speeches, I like to call up our evaluator. The first evaluator for the first speaker is going to be Rachel. Rachel? Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is going to be a very fun speech because Teresa, the purpose of her speech, and we all have roles, there's audience participation here, is addressing audience challenges, all right? And I just wanted to remind everybody that these are kind of fun to role play, but when Teresa addresses you for whatever it might be, you can't keep doing it. You know, she's addressed it. So I just wanted to remind everybody, don't keep doing it. Yeah, it's hard enough. But very excited to hear her speech today. I'd like to introduce Teresa. Oh my goodness. Help me with your last name.
Oh,
Staal-Cowley.
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 Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. And my speech is about the benefit of the arts from early childhood to end of life. And I have these here if you'd like to take notes, if you'd like to ask a question, but this is what my guideline that I'm working with right here. So I want to start off with early childhood to 6 years. And for me, myself, what I did is that I was an artist from the time I was very early childhood development, 4 years old, 3 years old. I was always the one asking those
Well, I don't think
incest.
early childhood was 6 years old.
Early childhood is 6 years old.
I disagree.
But thank you for that.
I believe
I
it's a little
appreciate
bit
that.
later, probably 12 or so. So I don't know where you're getting your facts.
I get my facts
thought
through a lot of
six.
research that I've done
Depends on the
in
person.
college and through life experience, but thank
I
you
don't
for
agree
that.
with college. They don't know what they're talking.
So I was the child that was always doing the little drawings and asking so many questions. Why? And everybody was so in just frustrated with that. So then I would do my little drawings, and my little drawings would turn into these little comic book strips. I was trying to figure life out. In kindergarten, I got labeled as Teresa the artist. I was 5 years old. When I was 10 years old, I started taking my first art classes in elementary school and then continued in middle school, high school, college. And then when I had children, I have 4 children that are now in between the ages of 33 and 43. I introduced the arts to them. I was reading books to them when they were just a couple of months old.
Oh, I do that with my kids too.
I'm sorry, what was
I do
that?
that with my kids too. I read books early on.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for that comment.
Absolutely.
So my children, I would read to them, and it was always pictures, and all 4 of them have very different personality types. And when we would go to the library, they would gravitate towards certain books, certain photographs, and I would read those stories to them. Now that they're adults, they are, my oldest has a love of animals and does animal training and has been a veterinarian assistant. Then my next is city and urban planning for the state of New Mexico. And then my next child became a tattoo artist. And then my youngest child is now working in a Montessori school. And all 4 of them introduced the arts in their careers.
God, you must be so proud of them. That is so amazing to have kids that are doing such wonderful things. I'm
Mhm.
so impressed.
Thank you for that comment, Buffy. And I know that you could also relate because you as well have adult children and grandchildren. So thank you for that comment. Then when I had my children in elementary school, it was always, oh, you're a mom, you're the artist. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I was always trying to help the teachers working with those difficult kids that were disrupting the whole classroom. And then we would do things like, well, maybe we could do some kind of interactive art or 3D models. And I was able to reach those difficult children. And that's where my youngest, who's 33, she's now using that in her Montessori program, in her teaching.
Can you imagine our kids?
Then if you look at
So young now.
my adult years, so I was a mom raising 4 kids, trying to work part-time as an artist, be home with my kids. Then my advanced adulthood and looking at other in advanced adulthood, I would see as they were reaching the end of the years, like 62 years old, they're starting to have challenges, memory issues. And I would introduce little ideas when I was doing adult school and working at a college in San Diego, California. There's a lot of ways where you're starting, it's like when we have our eyes are not seeing as well. So you have to do little things to remember. So we would do things in our art classes with calligraphy and mixed media, and you're using both parts of the brain when you do calligraphy and mixed media instead of just one part of the brain. And it's balancing. And that was a way we would do calligraphy and write poems or scriptures or song lyrics that would give hope to us. Then in senior adulthood, you're looking at 63 to 83 years. Some are starting to have symptoms of dementia and Alzheimer's. And I worked a lot in a lot of the assisted living and would introduce programs of teaching.
I feel like I'm only right here.
I love how you're taking, you're commenting with Kim, and I think that's excellent. But maybe you could leave some of those comments towards the end, and I would appreciate that.
Sorry about that.
So I would find that when I was teaching in assisted living, some of the family members in the assisted living, they were starting to have restored memory. We'd have a tool that I would bring and they'd say, oh, I used to use this tool when I was a quilter. And here they had totally forgot they were a quilter. And then all of a sudden the memories started flooding back. Then in the final adult years, some people will live in their early hundreds. And I know, for example, my parents, my dad just passed away last August. He was 95, and my mom is 92. She's in assisted living. When I went to visit her last week, she was telling me all about the art programs that they have at the assisted living, and it was helping her with restored memory. So I wanted to share with you also, I'm part of the South Sound Studio Tour, and I have these maps here. You can also look on Google Maps. And when I went to Evergreen State College, I did a prior learning program. And one of the main things was to talk about using your education with community psychology. So as an artist, I work with the community to help our communities be healthier communities. So thank you for listening to my speech. And if any of you have any questions, you could ask those. If there's 30 seconds, you could ask a question or make a comment.
30 seconds.
That was
it-
amazing.
Okay.
Thank you, Teresa, for a wonderful speech on the different age categories. I did notice we were talking about it. We noticed that the colors, and I guess maybe my question would be, was there any correlation with the colors of the different ages that are separated out there?
Well, one of the things is that when I was at Evergreen State College, they said that I had a condition called synesthesia. And and so 5% of adults have it, and the 5% who have it are artists. And so I have to color code everything to help me remember. And that was one of the things I did with residents in assisted living with Alzheimer's and then with early childhood, trying to make sense of everything and remember.
Oh, that's
Wow.
amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I wonder,
Awesome.
I might have to use some of that techniques for color to help my son memorize, because I'm really bad at memorizing stuff. And next, I'd like to call up on our second speaker in evaluation.
I'm dying.
Yes, it's Brandy. Brandy, please come up.
Thank you, Kim, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I get to listen to Kathy's speech and evaluate it, and I get to introduce her. I just totally blanked right there. That was crazy. That's why we're here at Toastmasters, right? It was like bizarre. I maybe because I haven't been here in a couple weeks, so you gotta come every week. So Kathy's speech today is, "Who am I? The egg, the lacuna, and the truth beneath the shell." Kathy Cross Reese.
Thank you. Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked yourself, who am I really? Not who people say I am, not what my job title says, not what my past mistakes tried to name me, not what my responsibilities demand of me. Who am I beneath the shell? Sometimes we struggle to answer that question because there is a lacuna inside our identity. A lacuna is a gap, a missing space, a place that feels incomplete. And many of us have lived with a lacuna inside of us, a gap between who we are and who we pretend to be, a gap between what people see and what we really feel. a gap between our outward image and our inward truth. Today, I want to talk about closing the gap using something simple, familiar, and surprisingly powerful: an egg. Yes, egg. At first glance, an egg looks ordinary. It's small, it's fragile, it can be overlooked. It does not announce what's inside, but hidden within that shell is structure, nourishment, purpose, and potential. And I believe we are a lot like that egg. We are made of layers. The shell represents the body, the egg white, which I will not crack and spill all over my lap, represents the soul, the mind, the will, and emotions. And the yolk represents the spirit, the core of who we are. So today I want to ask, are you living from the inside or the outside?
Hmm.
From the outside in or from the inside out? Remember that movie, Inside Out? Let's begin with the shell. The shell is what everyone sees first. It represents the body, it's the exterior, it is part that people recognize when we walk into a room. Our body matters. It allows us to speak, move, work, and serve, smile, hug, and show up in the world. But the shell is also fragile. And sometimes we spend most of our lives decorating the shell while neglecting what is inside. We focus on how we look, what people think, how we are perceived, whether we are impressive enough, successful enough, accepted enough. But here's the truth. You cannot discover your true identity by only studying your exterior. Your body is part of you, but it is not all of you. You are more than your height. You are more than your weight, more than your age, more than your title, more than your appearance, more than what people see when you enter the room. Because if the shell cracks, does the egg lose its purpose? No. Sometimes the cracking is what reveals what has been hidden. And that brings us to the egg white. The egg white represents the soul. The soul is where we think. Soul is where we choose. The soul is where we feel. It includes our mind, our will, and our emotions. And let's be honest, this is where many of us live most of the time. It's our thoughts. We live in our feelings, in our decisions, in our inner conversations. That's self-talk. One day we feel confident. The next day we feel unsure. One day we say, I can do this. The next day we ask, who do I think I am? One day we are full of courage. The next day fear pulls up a chair and makes itself comfortable in our mind. This is where the lacuna often begins. A gap in our thinking, a gap between what we feel and what is true, a gap between who we were created to be and who we have been trying to become for everyone else. The soul is powerful, but it is mostly trained. If our mind is full of fear, I may shrink back from purpose. If my emotions are leading without wisdom, I may make decisions from pain. If my will is weak, I may know what is right, but still struggle to follow through. That is why the question, who am I, cannot be answered only by how I feel. Feelings are real, but they are not always final. I may feel inadequate, but that does not mean I am incapable. I may feel afraid, but that does not mean I am powerless. I may feel overlooked, but that does not mean I am invisible. I may feel delayed. That does not mean I am denied. The soul needs alignment. Our minds need truth. Our wills need discipline. Our emotions need healing. Because when the soul is out of alignment, identity gets clouded. We start answering to labels. that were never ours to carry. Rejected, not enough, too late, too old, too young, too broken, too emotional, too much. But I may, too much. But I came to encourage you today. You are not the label. You are not the limitation. You are not the lie. You are not the lacuna. You are the person being restored in the gap. And now we come to the center of the egg, the yolk. The yolk represents the spirit. This is the core. This is the deepest part. This is where identity is anchored. Now, I know the yolk is spelled Y-O-L-K, but for today, I want you to hear it another way. Your yolk is what you are connected to. So ask yourself, what are you connected to? Are you connected to fear or faith? Are you connected to people's opinions or your purpose? Are you connected to your past or your possibility? Are you connected to survival or legacy? Because whatever you are connected to will influence how you answer this question. Who am I? When we live from the shell, we perform. When we live from the soul, we react. When we live from the spirit, we align. That is where real confidence comes from. Not arrogance, not pretending, not provoking. Real confidence comes from knowing I was created with purpose. I carry value. I have something meaningful to contribute. My life is not an accident. And when you know who you are, at the core, you do not have to compete with everyone else. An egg does not compare itself to an apple. An egg does not try to become a pineapple. An egg does not sit in the refrigerator saying, I wish I had more color. I wish I was taller. I wish I looked like the orange juice. No, the egg simply carries what is designated to carry, what is designed to carry. And that's the question for us. Stop comparing your shell. Stop letting your emotions rename you. Stop allowing opinions of others to determine your worth. Go deeper. Ask yourself, what's inside of me that I have not fully released? What gift have I been hiding? What dream have I talked myself out of? What purpose is waiting beneath the shell? Because here is the beautiful thing about the egg. It can become many things. Scrambled eggs, boiled eggs, an omelet, a cake, bread, custard. A whole recipe can change because one egg was added. That means something ordinary can become essential when placed in the right environment. And so can you. You may feel ordinary, but you are necessary. You may feel fragile, but you are still valuable. You may feel hidden, but you still carry purpose. The question is not only who am I? The better question is, am I willing to become who I was created to be? Because identity is not just something we discover. Identity is something we live. We live in how we speak. We live in how we lead. We live in how we serve. We live in how we make decisions. We live in how we rise after disappointment. We live in how we treat people when nobody is watching. So today, I want to leave you with a simple call to action. This week, take out a piece of paper and draw an egg. Label the shell, my body, then ask yourself, how am I showing up in the world? Label the white, my soul, then ask yourself, where is the lacuna in my thoughts, choices, and emotions? Label the yolk, my spirit, then ask yourself, what truth must return to the center of who I am? And then write one sentence. I am becoming blank. Not who fear said you were, not who failure said you were, not who people expected you to become. Write who you are becoming. Because when you know who you are, you walk differently, you speak differently, you lead differently, you live differently. So the next time you see an egg, do not just think about breakfast. Think about identity. Think about layers. Think about what's hidden inside. Think about the lacuna, the gap between who you have been told you are and who you were created to be. Then ask yourself one more question. Who am I? And answer with boldness. I am more than my shell. I am aligning my soul. I am living from my spirit. I am closing the lacuna. I am becoming everything I was created to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for a wonderful speech about eggs. There's so much. It could have been a TED Talk. I think you should do a TED Talk on it because yeah, there's so much to that, so much to wrap my mind around. I'm looking at the time, and we are at the point there where we might go over. So I think I'm going to skip table topic if the evaluators are ready to evaluate. Is that okay? Okay, awesome. Tori, you get to pass in this one next time. I promise. I promise. So we're going to move up ahead into our evaluation portion, and I'd like to call up Rachel.
Thank you. Loved your speech. This is a difficult speech. I hope everybody had fun. Can everybody raise their hand if they had an assignment? So did you
I could tell
did
too.
you catch everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you did a great job of handling everybody's interruptions. And you used some of the tools that because I said I just gave it. So some of the tools about like when Dawn interrupted, you said, thank you for that wonderful comment. And then with Buffy, I love that you kind of did the same thing, and then you added even some more personal. It was nice. I'm going to tell you your lacuna moment was a little bit at the beginning. I don't know if you noticed, but Dawn was interjecting a lot of stuff. And of course, I'm sitting next to him, so I'm like, I actually missed part. I'm like, what is he saying? I'm like, oh. And Brandy was whispering, and I just noticed when all that was kind of going on in the beginning. I don't know, did you were looking at your note, kind of looking down. They didn't get addressed in the very beginning. And I'm going to say it was distracting. It was hard for me to listen.
Yeah.
Like I missed kind of some of the beginning because as an thank you. Let's see. I thought you handled all the interruptions, which is the primary purpose of this speech. Oh, I did want to give you. I like the chronological order that you put everything in. Your speech was really well organized. I thought at the very end, when you said, "Hey, does anybody have any questions?" that was kind of like how you, which is a great call to action at the end. I highly recommend it because people get, oh, yeah, I want to ask. Maybe tailor your question like, so is anybody here experiencing a memory issue or, whatever that might be related? It's like, let's talk. Do we have any ideas? Can I help you with how art might help you? And then you can talk about, where it's like really directed and people kind of reflect on themselves. Might engage people more. I love your speech and that you keep your message and you keep going on about it. So wonderful speech. Thank you, everybody. And I will turn it back over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you for that evaluation. Next, our second evaluator is Brandy. Mona?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, our honored guests, and most certainly Kathy. Who am I? The egg, the lacuna, and the truth beneath the shell. I think you might be the word of the day champion of all time.
Yes. Yes.
It was in your title, and you kept using it all the way through, and not just the word, but like the definition, the gap. Incredible. So incredible. I don't know how you did that. Did you get the word beforehand? No. Wow. This is an advanced Toastmaster, everybody.
Yes.
So I am going to do the good, better, best evaluation. And because you're an advanced Toastmaster, I had to come up with some things for you to work on because it's always hard to find for an advanced Toastmasters. But let me just very quickly talk about some of the things that you did well. So questions. You had questions throughout, and that always helps engage people. You used the metaphor of the egg, and you had the prop of the egg. Props are good for the visual, but also that metaphor helps us all remember. I don't think any one of us are going to forget now when we see an egg. We're going to think our body, our mind, and our spirit, right? Our spirit being the yolk, our mind being the white, and the outside being the shell, being all the things that we do on the outside, how we decorate our shells. Now, I'm never going to forget that. So that was so powerful. I loved that again on the questions, how you ask the different questions. What are you connected to? Who am I beneath the shell? Again, very powerful. I have to say your pacing was amazing. Your voice, your expressions, you are just you draw people in while you're speaking. And you had a call to action at the end. You had to straw the egg. And again, think about asking ourselves all those questions. Who are we beneath that shell? So the things that you could do better. There might have been a couple times, were you reading notes from the screen at all as you were talking? I kind of saw your eyes. Maybe it looked like you were reading a little bit. That's like, who's going to catch that, right? I'm only catching that because I'm evaluating you. I was thinking a little bit about more sculpting of your body. You had the egg and that was really great, but I don't know if you want to do any kind of like hand gestures or kind of just a little bit more movement because you were very kind of still, kind of right in the screen. And I don't know, do you want a different background? The background's fine. A blurred background is fine, but if you wanted something a little more bright, maybe something with eggs on it, I don't know, maybe that would be too much. And then I think you went a little long beyond beyond your time, but that's okay. I have to agree with Kim. I'm going long. I have to agree with Kim that this could be a TED Talk. You could, I mean, I think that's why you had to go long because there was so much good stuff. So to bring it home, I'm going to talk about what you did best. And what you did best was the egg metaphor from the beginning to the end, really using that to drive home what you were trying to talk to us about today, which is knowing that we are more than just the shell. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Brandy, for an absolutely amazing evaluation of Kathy's speech as well. Moving along, no lacuna in our meeting today. We're going right straight to calling up the next general evaluator who is going to evaluate this meeting, right? I think, oh, Kathy.
Do we have time for table topics now? Question?
3.
No.
No, we do not. Would you, yes, I'm sorry. I'm running a straight shot meeting here. Like I said, no lacuna in our meeting. All great transition going to general evaluator. I like to call up Dawn. No, please come up here for your general evaluation.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. I want to start the evaluation process by calling for reports first. So first I'm going to call up Buffy for the timer report.
See how it is. Don't want to get yourself time, huh?
Sir, this was a fun. I was like, oh, look at your clock. Oh, look at your clock. Really, really good talks, both of them. So Teresa, your talk was 6 minutes and 40. So right, nicely slotted. Rachel, your evaluation was 2:20. So just a hair over. No, yes.
No, isn't it 3? Don't I get under 3?
2 to 3.
Yeah.
2 to 3. Oh, well,
Okay.
there you go. So, yeah, I'm a professional. Kathy's was a little over time at 11 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah.
But the pacing was so perfect that I was just like, just go with it because it's so important to hear this. And Brandy, your talk appropriately went over 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for that timely timer report, Buffy. All right, next, the SoMeridian report. And who is that? Justin.
Thank you. For the evaluator, the Toastmasters honored guest. So you had no idea, Kathy, or did you just throw that word in? Was that part of the speech? I'm curious. No.
No, what I did is I just incorporated it into my speech once I heard the word of the day.
Okay.
That's why it took so long because I added it in.
Nice. Okay. I didn't know if it was like just magic or something.
Hacked your phone.
I thought you inspired.
The first.
She's in touch with Google when I Googled the word of the day.
Whoa.
Maybe you are Google. Are you Google, Kathy?
Conspiracy theories.
Not Google. All right, I'll start with Kim. One word of the day. I had a yeah and straight shot meeting today. Good word usage. Buffy, 2 ums, 1 ah. Good word usage, hair over. I'm a professional. And you're dead kidding. Kathy, you had lots of word of the day. I got 10. 10 word of the days.
Yeah.
Well done.
No filler words also, so nice job there. Very clean speech you gave us. No filler words, crutch words. Good word usage, responsibilities demand of us, purpose and potential. Show up in the world, decorating the shell, inner conversations, become for someone else, soul needs alignment, identity anchored, identity is how we live, closing the lacuna. Go to Rachel, one word of the day. I had 4 ums, 4 uhs, 2 kindas, 1 light, and 2 you knows. Good word usage. Primary purpose, chronological order, tailor your question. Teresa, very few filler words as well. Nice job. 1 so. That's all I had. You also had a repeat of it's like, and you repeated if.
Okay.
At one point. Good word usage. Teresa the artist. Early childhood. Somebody interrupted that rudely. Gravitate to certain books. Difficult kids. Memory issues. Calligraphy and mixed media. Save comments to the end. Restoring memory. Just talking to you, by the way. Randy, you had 2 word of the day.
I did? Oh, when I. Does that count?
Counts.
Okay.
2 so's, 2 kindas, a double I mean. Good word usage, advanced Toastmaster, engage people, metaphor and prop, more sculpting. So I had Don, he cut himself off. I didn't get a chance for you. So you planned that just right, didn't you?
Thank you for that augury report. All right, so I get to my evaluation of the meeting as a whole. All right, so the meetings started on time. That's the first start, right? And roles was quickly filled prior to the meeting, so we all came together and filled the roles pretty quickly. We greeted guests as he arrived, and the room was set up with the electronics and everything else, so everything was good there. As far as Toastmasters, Kim, great job, best Toastmaster. You always do a great job. One thing that I did like was that you confirmed roles with people via text prior to the meeting. So you already started that process of actually filling the roles and taking initiative for today. And you did maintain control of the meeting throughout, even throughout the chaos sometimes, you know. So all right. As far as the speeches go, 2 great speeches today. That was a very good cooperation with the whole entire room with the role play assignment. It wasn't too crazy. I know last time we did it was a lot. This one was more organized, so that was awesome. And then we had the other speech via the video, which was a great speech. And Kathy, I must say, I felt like I was having therapy with an AI agent because they take it as a compliment because I mean your speech, your tone, your dictation was just like perfect. Like you even glitch out at one time too, so just like an AI agent. So I'm not sure you can do that, but yeah. So, but it just like I said, it was perfect. So it was perfect speech. We really enjoyed that. As far as evaluators, Rachel and Brandy, good job in your evaluations. Good job with the good, better, and best evaluation process. Basically, your evaluations overall, your model is just like perfect. How you do your evaluations. So I'm sure the speaker really appreciate that. Good timer reports. I think we had a mishap on the evaluation time at the end. I guess a little bit, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
She's a professional.
Noted, right?
She's
Noted.
professional.
But besides that, good evaluation on timer and good Auger report from Justin. And that is my report. I'm gonna turn it back over to Kim. Guess we don't have our president here today, so maybe we go to our vice president of education, Justin.
Oh, okay.
For at least another month or so.
I don't know when that moves. All right. Thank you.
Question. Did we have elections last week?
Yeah, and everybody, it ended up however, whoever got nominated.
You're president, by the way.
I mentioned I won't be here for the next month. So, no.
Rachel will be our new president. Kim's the same. Your treasurer. Kathy, what was your
I think she's taken some time.
time? Okay, who's the secretary?
Oh, me.
You're I'm sergeant at arms.
Doesn't
What
say.
else did we have?
Oh, I need to get new
VP
name
of
tag.
PR.
Yeah, and I had to ask Robin because we went out with a friend and I said, "So what happened with the meeting?" She goes, "Oh, didn't you know?"
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there it is. That is, and that takes effect in July.
July. Okay.
Is that correct?
I think so.
July 1?
July 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the meantime, we'll just keep doing how we've been doing.
New
So
name tag.
duties.
I guess are we gonna get a new, somebody wanna get a new one of these?
I do have the old lectern. It's sitting in my living room right now. I forgot to bring it. Oh,
I think we should go with the portable one.
That's a great idea.
it is. We
I like that idea too. Like
Okay.
you said about carrying the stuff in it.
So we
Yeah.
would need the bin maybe.
Do we need to